On this edition of Good Day DePaul, crime in Chicago. It hits one of the city's most upscale neighborhoods.
Libraries. They're now dealing with threats and challenges.
And basketball. It's back at DePaul. I'm Juliana Playas.
And I'm Max Raymond. And this is Good Day DePaul.
For the past few weeks, we've reported on the crime problem at DePaul's Lincoln Park campus. But that's not the only part of Chicago that's been dealing with crime. Good Day DePaul's Michaela Wilson explains.
Early morning on October 8th, 8 people were shot outside a Blum restaurant and bar in River North. Surveillance footage captured a gunman firing shots during a street fight before putting his gun down and walking away. Although River North frequenters are left feeling uneasy, this incident isn't the first the city has seen.
There's many areas of the city that are relatively safe and relatively not, but no matter where you go, always you have to be cautious, and the life around here is not changing. It's not scaring anyone away.
The bar has been linked to prior shootings and has been permanently shut down. This incident is one of 52 shootings in Chicago just last week. In the last year, Chicago has experienced an influx in crime. The Chicago Police Department reported a 45% increase in robberies, assaults, shootings, and theft. Chicagoans are becoming concerned by the growing crime numbers in the past years. Lifelong Chicago resident and father John Paul is shocked by how much the city has changed.
It doesn't matter, it seems like, nowadays, that where you're going or what you're doing in the city. Crime is happening.
As crime continues to be a problem, peace initiative groups and the city of Chicago are continuing to work together on reducing numbers. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Michaela Wilson.
Public libraries. They've traditionally been a quiet refuge, but now libraries are dealing with a variety of issues. These include some groups trying to ban books at libraries, and others are issuing threats to libraries, most recently in suburban Aurora and at the Harold Washington Library in Chicago. Good Day DePaul's Princess Siafa has a report.
At Richard and Gina Centauri Public Library in Aurora is business as usual. But just a month ago, the library was the scene of panic, evacuation, and a desperate search to find a bomb. The Deputy Director of Public Libraries in Aurora, Tom Spicer, described the events.
It was in the afternoon on September 12th was when we got the first bomb threat. And it sort of just, for me personally, it was a shock to the system. It was alarming. We had heard that this was happening in other libraries, but to actually have it happen to your library where you work and you come every day is a surprise in a bad way.
Eola Public Library in Aurora, Howard Washington Public Library in Chicago, and others received bomb threats from an unidentified online source. Police responded swiftly, but the threat turned out to be a hoax. Spicer shared his staff's response.
The response to that has been frustration, even anger, that this might be a joke to someone.
An expensive joke that left the library closed for almost an hour. Now, a month later, the library has fully returned to its usual activities. And in keeping with business as usual, the Centauri Public Library has fully resumed all public events, including the ribbon-cutting ceremony for their brand new bookmobile this Friday. The bookmobile will visit schools, parks, and community centers to provide services for people with transportation or physical difficulties. Reflecting on September 12th, Assistant Manager of Adult Services at Centauri, Marie Cifuentes, says she's thankful to keep working.
I love the work that we do. I love the fact that from whatever role we have as library workers, whether it be librarians, as assistants, as programmers, administration, in any role, from our security, circulation, whatever role we are in, we are just part of this core family that are delivering a multitude of services to the community.
With the topic of censorship ongoing nationally, some libraries are under immense pressure to ban certain books. Police say, however, there is no tangible connection between the threats and the censorship issue. For Good Day DePaul, I am Princess Siafa.
Next on Good Day DePaul, our first look at DePaul's basketball teams.
That story when we return.
Today, the heroes that fight day in and day out on the front lines. Those who are there, innovating in real time, saving lives and answering the call to care in times of crisis. American nurses. Nurses who have been there for each and every one of us in times of crisis for more than 150 years. Nurses are the pillar of strength and the foundation of healthcare and life itself. Nurses are there the day we are born. They are there when your family is in crisis, and they are there in the end. In confronting the most catastrophic health crisis in modern history, we must remember our American nurse heroes need our support as much as we need them. To show our gratitude for their courage and ensure they receive the critical education and support services they need, donate to the Coronavirus Response Fund for Nurses today, in honor of your American nurse hero.
Max is here now with Good Day DePaul Sports. Max?
Thanks, Juliana. It's called Blue Madness, and it's the kickoff to DePaul's men's and women's basketball seasons, and it's full of fun and competition. DePaul's men and women's basketball teams held a Blue Madness event where students and fans get a sneak peek of the new rosters. The event kicked off with the two teams being introduced before they competed against each other in a three-point competition. Jalen Terry, KT Ramey, and Chico Carter Jr. competed for the men, while Kate Clark, Michelle Sider, and Maeve McErlane were on the women's team. In the end, Clark defeated Carter Jr. 8-5 in the finals to win the competition. Next, the two teams competed in a half-court shot competition, with Jaden Henley being the only one to sink a shot. Finally, the two teams played 3-on-3, giving the fans a glimpse of what's to come. After the event, I talked to men's coach Tony Stubfield. He talked about the offseason recruiting, how the new players are integrating into the lineup, and the competitiveness of the Big East.
Our staff did a great job recruiting in the offseason, and the biggest thing we really want to improve was our athleticism and our versatility of recruiting guys that can play multiple positions, and that's something I think we did a great job of. Every time you have 8 new guys, you're just trying to mix those guys in with the returning guys, and you're trying to get those guys familiar with playing with one another. So you just try to take each step, a day at a time and get better day in and day out, and I think our guys are doing a great job of doing this. This is the best basketball league in the country, but we just got to take another step in the right direction, improve upon what we did last year, and take a step in the right direction, and just continue to get better.
For Good Day DePaul, I'm Max Raymond. And 2 days after Blue Madness, the DePaul women's basketball team was part of another big competition, and I mean big. The Blue Demons in Iowa squared off in a scrimmage at the Iowa Football Stadium and set a national women's basketball attendance record with 55,646 fans. Iowa, the runner-up in last year's NCAA tournament, won 94-72 before a loud and boisterous crowd. Though just an expedition game, it gave DePaul a good feel for the kinds of crowds they'll be playing before during the Big East season. Turning to women's soccer, DePaul took on UConn in a home match, with their eyes set on winning their second straight. Fresh off an impressive win over Big East foe Butler, the DePaul women's soccer team was full of confidence entering their match against the UConn Huskies. In the first 2 minutes of the first half, each team had a shot on goal, but neither connected. DePaul goalie Elena Milam was able to make the save. From there, DePaul wasn't able to muster much offense, and UConn struck first in the 12th minute thanks to midfielder Anya Johnson. Unfortunately for the Blue Demons, this was only the beginning, as UConn scored 3 more times at the 22nd, 23rd, and 41st minutes to take a 4-0 halftime lead. The goals came from the Huskies midfielder Jessica Mazzo, forward Abby Jones, and defender Chloe Landers. DePaul had a few opportunities late in the first half, but was unable to execute. The second half was similar to the first, with DePaul not mustering much on offense. Early in the half, the Blue Demons seemed to score, but the goal was overturned as a foul was called on the play. In the 88th minute, UConn scored their 5th goal thanks to forward Brooke Waonis. DePaul was shut out, losing 5-0. Blue Demons goalie Elena Milam finished with 12 saves. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Max Raymond. Her name is Jill Presley, and she's an integral part of the DePaul volleyball team. I recently met with Jill to talk about her career.
In the midst of her senior year, women's volleyball outside hitter Jill Presley has made a name for herself. Last year, she was selected to the All-Big East team, and entering this season, she was named to the All-Big East preseason team. But Presley has her eyes focused on her team's success instead of her individual accolades.
Obviously, we wanted a better outcome than last season. That was one of the main things going into the off-season. But one of our big goals is to make it back to the Big East tournament. We fell short last year, and so now we need to come back this year and do a lot better. So that's one of our goals, and then obviously making the NCAA tournament has been a goal since my freshman year. So coming into my senior year, it's one of the ones that I'm really focused on, just for the team as a whole.
Since her freshman season in 2020, Presley has been productive. In that COVID-shortened season, she instantly stood out, leading her team in kills of 115. To head coach Marie Zidek, this did not come as a surprise.
You know, when we recruited Jill mainly because of her high motor and her point scoring ability, and really good defense, really good attacking, and she's an elite level competitor. And we knew that she would make an immediate impact in the Big East Conference, and we were looking for players that were ready to score points as freshmen and weren't going to take a lot of years to develop. And she's exactly that. She came in as a freshman, put up points right away, quickly became, one of our go-to attackers, and hasn't looked back.
Presley's sophomore season was a roller coaster. She started off the year strong, but then suffered a major dip in production and wasn't playing up to her expectations. But with the help of the veterans on the team, she says she was able to change her mental attitude. At practice, she shifted her focus to what she could do in that practice to make sure she could do it in the game. DePaul went on to make the Big East tournament, and in the tournament, Presley was able to finish the season strong, playing better than she had been. After making it to the Big East tournament, her junior season saw the Blue Demons take a step back, finishing 10-20 on the year.
Last year, my junior year, was probably one of the most difficult seasons that I've ever experienced in my career. It was just a lot of loss, and as an athlete, you take loss very personally, as I know I do. It's something pretty hard to get over, especially if it keeps happening all in the span of 3 months. But I know that I had to go out there and do my best, and I had to make sure that I was relaying that to my teammates, no matter what the result was. It was important that my teammates knew that this is still a sport that we love, and it's still a sport that we want to come in and play every day and be with each other. And so that was a big aspect in last year, is just sticking together as a team.
Currently, the Blue Demons are 10-9, but find themselves on a mini slide, having lost their last 4. Despite that, they're only 1 game behind Villanova for the 6th and final spot in the Big East tournament, with 10 games to go. Throughout her career, Presley's become an integral part of DePaul's offense, leading to opponents having the game plan against her. As a result, she's had to evolve as a player and scorer to still be productive.
When you're an established point scorer, typically you're the number 1 name on the other team's scout. And when that happens, you tend to have 4 hands, maybe even 6 hands from time to time in front of you. And so it's important you learn how to score in different ways and not just hit the same ball to the same spot over and over again. And that's really something we've been working on.
I've done a lot of film work with the coaches, and we've done a lot of strategies to help me adapt my hitting and adapt my defense. Just by scoring, I have to find more ways to score, more diverse ways to score, which has been a very big impact for me because that's helped me in other areas of my game as well. Obviously being targeted in serve receive, that's something I also had to work on, making sure that I'm a reliable passer so that other players on the team can also get their kill count up, which also helps me.
With Presley planning to return next year for her graduate season, she'll continue to move up on DePaul's all-time kill list. She currently has 1,283 kills and has a legitimate chance to break into the top 6 all-time in Blue Demons history. While Presley and her team have their eyes set on returning to the Big East tournament, what does the future hold for the senior? Well, she plans on earning a master's degree in business analytics.
The plan right now is to get my graduate degree here at DePaul and play my 5th year, which is super exciting. I'm excited to get a master's degree, and then I'm excited to see what my last volleyball season will turn out as.
For Good Day DePaul, I'm Max Raymond.
And that's sports. Back to you, Juliana.
Thanks, Max. Coming up on Good Day DePaul, the university celebrates diversity at DePaul. Stay with us.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie to matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There's something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match and you're really special to me.
A big milestone at DePaul, the university's Build Diversity Certificate Program recently celebrated its 10th anniversary. The program offers faculty and staff ways to support an inclusive campus. This includes workshops on topics like anti-racism, implicit bias, microaggressions, and religious diversity. That's all for this week's edition of Good Day DePaul. You can keep up with us by visiting our Vimeo channel at Good Day DePaul or by going to goodday.depaul.edu.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook.
And if you have any news tips, message us through the Good Day DePaul social media channels.
Thanks for watching. I'm Max Raymond.
And I'm Juliana Playas. Have a good day, DePaul.